Hey everybody, Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. This is a video request and it was requested by B. Stevie. But I just wanted to put this out there. He gave a super thanks. It's never expected, but always appreciated. I will still do video requests even if you don't donate. I don't ask for money. All that I ask is for respect and to interact with the video in the comments below. Now his video request was what makes people more bad than others. Now it's a good topic to talk about, and I think I've talked about this in other videos regarding this place, this realm, how it's meant to be this way. You notice throughout history, there's been a lot of bad things going on by humans, okay? A lot of evil, terrible things that people have done to people, even today. I mean, it's obvious what goes on here. Now, there's obviously a spectrum of bad and good. I think that the bad, everyone makes mistakes, okay? Everyone's gonna do bad things at some point in their life. Now, there's gonna be people who will commit crimes that are absolutely atrocious. And a lot of people will try to rationalize saying that the evil is from the devil and all that, those things. I don't really subscribe to the religious notion of that, but I do believe that the evil does exist, and I think that it's quite possibly emanating from some outer source. What that is, you can speculate, but all I can tell you is that definitely there's a lot of differences which sets people apart. Like for myself, I wouldn't dream of doing any atrocious things to people, things that I've seen on the news, things that I've seen and heard of other people doing all the time. I consider myself a really good person, so I don't think I would be able to do any of those things. One could argue that we are a product of our environment, okay? Now, if you are raised in a good family, and this isn't always the rule, but if you're raised by good parents, good people, if you've had a good upbringing, if you're likely going to end up being a good person. Now, if you're somebody who's raised in the hood and all you've ever known was crime because your parents were both criminals or whatever, and you learned it from them or from the people you hung out with as you were getting older, being from childhood to adolescence, what are you going to be like? You're going to end up being a hoodlum, a degenerate, unfortunately. Now, does that always mean that somebody who's raised in a bad neighborhood or in a bad family are going to be an evil person or a bad person? No, not always. There is a chance that they could make it. And why that is, it's a very good question. I'm not sure if something affected them or something didn't affect them, the outer source that I'm talking about. It's very interesting, and we don't really know where evil comes from directly. There's been theories. There are things that in ancient texts that talk about the jinn and all these different gods, so to speak, like the demiurge and things like that. But to be truthful, none of us really know the source of it. That's why they use the devil in the Bible and things like that, the religious terms, to try to explain that. Now, I don't think that's truly it. I think I always look at it this way. Sure, somebody can be born, in a good family, like I mentioned, and turn bad for whatever reason later in life. And I don't know if it's because this place is so fucked up and there's just always bad things going on, so people are very easily to be manipulated. I don't know. I don't know if that's one reason. I personally believe when we're born, we're all clean slates. The brain has not been programmed. Nothing's been put in the brain We've not been learned. It's just like learning things. We don't learn until over time, from going to school and whatever, lessons learned. So I like to think that we are influenced by this place for whatever reason, whether it's just because this place was made to be this type of hell realm, or it's out of some sort of energetic force that is manipulating humanity, which seems like the more logical explanation for that, whether you want to call it the devil or whatever. But there's something that is affecting humanity on a massive scale that's, making humanity be this way in this realm. Maybe it's the way it's supposed to be. Now, I've heard people say that, well, how do you know that evil is really not the main, like the how would I say, the main function, kind of like the principal mentality, I guess is the best way, or thinking, or way of being. I could never believe that, only because I believe in love, I believe in good, because you just feel much better when you help people. You feel better when things are going well for everyone. The energy is much more positive feeling, when you're in that low vibration status, like if you think bad thoughts and things like that, you feel like crap, okay? Even if the very idea of hurting somebody or doing whatever bad act to somebody else makes you feel kind of like not so good, right? So there's got to be something there that is influencing us on in an invisible level, like it's hard for me to explain, a source that we can't see, just influencing us. Probably sound like I'm rambling, but I'm just trying to make my point where it's a possibility that it's coming from somewhere. And I mean, look at how nasty this place is. Just terrible, terrible things go on here. Wars and criminals and drug gangs and drug cartels, or you name it. I've seen videos on another channel where he's showing these gangs in like the United States, where these guys openly talk about harming others, and it's just like comes first nature to them. It's crazy to me. You do not want to go to those places. Good would not last there, especially if you're a really good person. You walking through there, no good is going to come from that. So there's some sort of force affecting human beings. The good souls here, they're the ones that suffer for sure. So what makes people different from others when it comes to more bad? Maybe some people don't act upon it. There are generally good souls here for whatever reason. Like I mentioned, whether it's your environment or you are just generally believe in the good. But then there's the ones that are bad souls, demonic beings, and they thrive here for the most part. Sure, we have the justice system and this and that and this and that, but that's just because there's still some good people that are trying to do the best we can, but really this matrix doesn't work in our favor for those who are good spirits. So there's definitely differences when it comes to what makes people worse than that, just people who do unquestionable, unthinkable things. And it's really, really crazy out there. I hope that answers your question somehow. There's also going to be like evil people who just don't do anything because they're worried about getting caught. There's that factor too, who are just, the urge doesn't overpower the fear of getting busted, going to jail and the consequences of that. So you never really know fully how many bad people are out there. We are only seeing the ones who acted out on it, acted out on the urge to do evil, whatever it may be. So yeah, thanks for the video request, and as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video very soon. Bye for now.